Did you know that the type of stance you have when you serve has a direct impact on how well you serve? And they can even change from the deuce court to the ad court, and depending on if you want to hit topspin or slice. Yes, it's true, there's so much to the serve, especially when it comes to the stance. Hi, my name is Jeff Salzenstein. I'm the founder of Tennis Evolution, one of the leading online tennis instruction websites in the world, and I'm absolutely passionate about helping players with their serves, help them accelerate their results, and so that the rest of their game can go to the next level. In today's lesson, we've gone to the comment section of one of our YouTube videos. You see, recently I made a video that talked about having a more extreme stance, if you will. In the video, I talked about having a stance, I'm just going to move over here for a moment, where you have your front foot parallel to the baseline and you turn out your back foot like this. So you're in a platform stance and you turn out. And so that's a stance, a platform stance that models Pete Sampras, arguably one of the greatest servers of all time. And the reason that we were talking about doing this stance is that not only does it give you more disguise, but it really helps you coil and turn. If you're having trouble coiling and turning like this, turning your back foot out will help a lot. And that is a great tip if you want more topspin and if you want more kick. But you know what? There's always pluses and minuses, pros and cons to certain stances and certain ways of serving. And so I want to present another argument against that stance, because the comment or the question that came to me is, hey, if I do that, should I also do it on this side of the court? So as a lefty, I'm on the ad court right now. As a righty, I would be on the deuce court. Should I have this stance, this extreme stance? And I'm going to say in most cases, no. So that means that your stance might vary from side to side, from deuce court to ad court. And this is why I say no. If you get into this extreme stance on this side of the court, you really might struggle hitting a wide slice serve, getting slice on your serve. So this stance is really set up to hit more topspin and more kick. So what I would advise you to do, most of you out there are not going to be able to do it. Heck, I struggle with it. When I was changing my serve at 28 years old, right before I broke the top 100 in the world, I had a platform stance. I brought my foot up. I switched to the platform to model Sampras, but when I tried to get as extreme as Sampras, my wide slice serve suffered. So I had to find a stance that was a little more moderate, not as extreme. So my advice to you is I would actually point this front foot a little bit more in the ad court as a lefty and the deuce court as a righty. And I would make sure this foot is more parallel. Now you can still turn, you can still have a great turn, but it's just not as extreme. And so what this is going to allow you to do is hit great slice serve. So I come up to the line and I start pointing this foot, and I'm not bringing this foot back and I'm not turning it out as much. So you'll see if I point it like this, now I can hit great wide slice serves, okay? And so I can really focus. Now my front foot is pointed and this foot is more parallel. And I can hit the slice. If I were to turn more like I was in the other court in that other video, if I was to be more turned, it's just harder for me to get my body to rotate and to have as much slice. Most of you out there are going to actually hurt your opponents if you have a better slice serve than kick serve. The slice skids, it stays low, you can go into the body. The kick serve, you have to actually hit it perfect for it to work. If it sits up, you're in trouble. So I really like players focusing on developing a nasty slice serve when they're playing, because we want to avoid that serve sitting up if you go with the kicker. So this more extreme stance is great for disguise, but I'm not getting a lot of slice there. I turn my feet a little bit, and even though I missed that well wide, you can see I have so much more slice on the serve. And so simply making a little tweak in the stance can make a huge difference. And getting back to this side, if you want to keep your same stance, I would probably advise pointing this foot a little bit more. You can point it that way, you can hit your T serve. Okay, not that accurate right now. See if I can get it. But it's so much easier to hit slice, and I can still hit the slider out wide. So I really like pointing the foot, the front foot, if you want to get more slice. So this is where it gets really interesting, because it depends on what type of player you are. It depends on your flexibility. It depends what comes naturally to you. I'm just sharing my experience that if you point the front foot and you have your back foot more parallel like this, it's easier for most servers, as long as you still can get turn. If you're pointing like this and you're going down together, up together, and you're not turning, that's not going to be great for you. So that's the easier way to serve, basically. And the whole reason in the other video that I talked about turning this back foot out is that many of you don't do it. You have this foot turned in, and then when you try to rotate and internally rotate in this hip, you can't really turn. As soon as we turn the foot out, it makes it easy to turn. So you've got to go out and experiment. Deuce court, ad court. You've got to experiment if you can actually change your stances, because remember, what I say is you can point the foot more on this side and have a great wide slice, and then you could move over here and you could actually adjust your stance and have a great kick or a great topspin serve. And you might be saying, well, wait, my opponent's going to read it. Well, if they're reading it, let's say I point my foot here and they think, oh gosh, Jeff's just going to go down out wide all the time. Guess what I get to do? I can go down the tee with the serve, so they can't read it. If I'm over here and I'm hitting kickers and they're reading it, I can still kick it down the tee. So that's where you can change your stances. All you have to do is just change where you go on the other side if they're getting onto it. So I really want you to be flexible with this. I want you to play around with the different stances and see what you can do with the ball. You cannot underestimate the importance of the stance. A lot of players come up to serve and they don't think about their stance. It's just whatever's comfortable. It's just like they don't think about their grip that much. You have to have the right grip. You have to have a great first move. I shouldn't say you have to. There's some players that I don't think have a great first move and they have good serves. But the stance is so important. You know, if you're bringing your foot up to the side, it's going to compromise your stance and your ability to serve as well as you want. So that's my breakdown on really answering that question on how do you serve on the different sides, deuce side or ad side. Should you have this foot turned out if you want to hit wide serves? And I say no. I say go with a stance where you're a little more pointed like this. So consider that. Leave the comments and questions below about this. I've thought a lot about this, as you can tell, as the serve surgeon. And what I'd like to do for you is I want to offer you a free gift. And this free gift is my way of saying, you know what, if you believe in me, if you think I can take you to the next step, you just have to click below or somewhere in this video, because when you do that, I'm going to give you 21 free lessons inside our Tennis Evolution app. I'm essentially giving you a free membership. I want you to check out my other lessons, my other serve lessons, forehand, backhand, strategy, mindset, injury prevention, because I look at a holistic perspective. I have a holistic perspective when it comes to tennis development. And I believe it's not just about technique. You have to learn how to move. You have to learn how to think. You have to learn how to take care of your body. And if you're a high performer and you want that extra edge, I can help. So go ahead and click below this video or somewhere inside this video to get inside our Tennis Evolution app, where you can learn faster. You can take these videos on the court with you. It's like having a coach in your pocket. I'm your coach in your pocket, all right? Absolutely free, no credit cards required. Let's get started taking to the next level. Give this tip a try on the serve stance and let me know how it goes. I'll see you at the next lesson.